It's culturally acceptable for them to say such profane things to strangers. That was a humongous culture shock to me.
I'm like, hey, like, it's nobody in here but me, your husband, the girls, and he had all these men with him. They're gone. He's like, oh, they probably went out to get some drinks.
I don't think there should be lions in a cafe. Lions should be in the wild.
Currently traveling in one of the most beloved places in the world, and I don't love it here.
First night I went there, I was so traumatized and so disgusted by the amount of old white men, Thai girls.
Everything is pork. They eat bugs. They fry grasshoppers. But I think the men in Colombia are relentless. It's actually incredibly threatening. Returning to Colombia as a black solo female traveler is the catcalling. I think the catcalling that I experienced in Colombia was unlike any other country I'd ever been. I've been to both South and Central America before, so I thought I understood what to expect. But I think the men in Colombia are relentless. And as someone who's traveling in a new place alone who's not a Spanish speaker, it's actually incredibly threatening. Because now no is not enough. Now you have a man following you down the street in an alley. And I also don't like that supposedly it's culturally acceptable for them to say such profane things to strangers. That was a humongous culture shock to me, just because in the United States, it's not really socially acceptable to project your sexual desires onto a stranger in a way that's this obtuse. So this was something that I'd never experienced and I didn't know how to handle, especially since I was by myself. This was something that made me feel incredibly unsafe. Reason number 2 I won't return to Colombia as a black solo female traveler is actually how visible the sexual exploitation is. I guess one of my tenets as a person who travels is to travel as ethically as I can, especially if I'm going to places that have a weaker dollar than the place in which I live. And I think the sex tourism was incredibly visible, including solicitation by kids. And as not just a black person, but like as a solo traveler who's also a woman, this was an incredibly threatening proposition. Reason number 3 why I won't return to Colombia as a black solo female traveler. This reason is contestable, but I'm going to say it anyway because I feel like this. I didn't like all of the dancing that the Afro-Caribbean communities did in Cartagena. As a person who is African Canadian or African American, both of these diasporic identities are contested within the diasporic community of being like legitimate or deserving or like.
You didn't like the dancing they did? That's a part of our history. That explanation made no sense. Like,
Real. So I have felt a sense of placelessness my whole life. So when I travel, I'm constantly looking for places where diasporic identities are celebrated so that I can see ways that I can celebrate or look for or discover my own culture in the future. And when I first saw them dancing, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I can't believe they're such an integrated part of the culture. And then I realized that I don't think that's true. Not only is the way power is stratified in Colombia such that there is a racial divide, despite what everyone tells you, the dances that they're doing are primarily for tourists. And they're not black tourists or tourists of color. And they're not other Afro tourists. That's the commodification of this culture, I think, left a really sour taste in my mouth.
well, Colombia is actually majority black people, right? Of course, there's a large number of people that are European, that have a European look, but it's mostly black, right? That's a very black country. That also Dominican Republic. That country was, of course, occupied by Africans that were brought over there. But I want to get into something because you see her, I'm looking at her and going, what God is harassing her? That's what I'm thinking. Like, look at her face. And she has a list, but you can't hear her when she talks. You can't hear her when she walks, but I'm thinking, who's harassing you? So I did a little bit of investigation I said, I need to research her further and see something else. And this right here is very disturbing to me. Look at this. You see that? You see that? They're all Transformers. She transformed. I'm a baddie now. That's why every girl says you're a dime. But she went over there to Colombia. Colombia is 10 times worse than the US, right? And how was that? You see how we have feminism in America? This feminism isn't strong in Colombia. It's there. It's in every country. I want to let guys know that it's in every country, right? But it's night and day from the West. What do I mean? You can easily, and I'm gonna break that down because I'm gonna use something you girls love to say. That's my boyfriend. I love AI. It's my world. I'm in love with Chad GPT, right? Look at this. I gotta share my screen. I gotta show you guys this because I literally search Google in AI mode. Watch this. I gotta share this because this shows there's no excuse when you're traveling across these waters. There's no excuse. Watch this. Is catcalling a problem in Colombia? Yes, catcalling is widely considered a significant problem in Colombia, deeply rooted in the cultural history of machismo. For many women, navigating public spaces involves a constant barrage of unsolicited attention, ranging from verbal comments to physical intimidation. Catcalling is extremely common and is often performed by men across various professions, including construction workers, shop owners, and even some public officials. Public officials are catcalling? It's really machismo out there. So you can easily search that. I mean, you're effing this, right? Sounds like it. You can search it and say, okay, Colombia has a problem. I'm not going to go.
Experience with y'all traveling to Colombia. And I'm gonna try to encourage y'all girlies who solo travel not to go because this is gonna get weird, very weird. So I started solo traveling at the beginning of 2022 when I turned 21, and I met this coordinator that I've been talking to since 2021 when I wasn't traveling, and I've known him since 2025. The same with the driver, and the same with this Airbnb couple that manages a whole entire house. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm comfortable, I'm safe, I know all these people, I'm good. So fast forward, get off the plane, my driver is there, I give him a hug, hey, nice to see you again, take me to the Airbnb. The only difference is there's a new couple, right? The husband, we're gonna call him R, the wife, we're gonna call her M. So when I get inside of the Airbnb, it's these two other females that introduce themselves to me. They've been staying there for like 2 or 3 days before I got there. So we decide to create some plans that work so that we're all together and we feel safe since, hence we're all females and we're in Colombia, we're by ourselves. So we decided to go get our nails done the second day, or I guess you say the first day, and for me. And my driver, he's nowhere to be found, and I'm wondering like, what's going on with you? Why you not answering the phone? So he calls me back and he's like, hey, I thought R, the husband, told you he was going to take you everywhere you wanted to go, so I could have a rest day. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool, maybe he wants a little bit more money in his pockets. So we get to the nail salon, we having a good time, glass of champagne, we talking about life, we talking about our trips and our experiences as solo travelers, whatever we do. So it comes to the time where he has to pick us up, y'all. He had a bouquet of flowers, right? Big ass bouquet of flowers, and a card that said, to my platonic princess. When I see him come to the door, we're all thinking he has those for his wife. Well, why are you coming to the nail salon with these? You could have left them in your car. So he's like, oh no, these are for you. And he starts laughing. So I take them. I'm just thinking, oh, he's being very attentive. Maybe he gave the girls the same thing when they came in. Come to find out, he didn't. So we go to the mall after the nail salon, and we walk past this lingerie store, and he wants.
My man was trying to slide and ride.
To go inside of there. So I'm thinking in my mind, okay, maybe you want to get something for your wife, y'all. Whole entire time he got these two other girls the same thing, and they're not saying nothing. They're not telling me nothing. So I'm in the loop. I'm just thinking he's being nice and he's getting his wife these things, but he's not. He's got this on. So me and the girls, we leave out the lingerie store and we start shopping elsewhere, and we all meet back up at the car maybe like an hour and a half later. Go back to the house. When I get out the shower, there's the piece that he was showing laid on my bed with the same card to my platonic princess. So I decided to take the lingerie, take the card, and I put it back in the living room. Go back in the living room. So the night comes, I go back outside in the living room, ready for dinner. There's like 5 or 6 guys out in the living room. The wife is nowhere to be found. It's just the husband R and I guess his friends. So I'm not with it. Call me what you want. I'm not with it. The girls, they're texting me. They're like, oh, come on. They just want to play games. And then we're going to go out afterwards. Just come on. Like, let's have fun. Nah. The only reason why I went out there was to watch them. Mind you, I don't know them. But it seemed like and I'm younger than y'all. I'm 23. And it seemed like I'm the mama. Like, I'm just watching y'all just to see, like, it's 6 guys and it's 3 of us. Y'all not putting 2 and 2 together. So I'm sitting out there on my phone with my friend, just so I have a witness. Y'all, this man, I don't know what he was on, but he goes up to one of the girls and she had like a one piece on like this, but she had like the wrong zipper, and he zips it. He unzips it, right? And tries like, she flashes herself. Well, she doesn't, but he flashes her in front of all of us in the living room. So I'm like, yo, no, like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, it's just a game. It's just a game. Mind y'all, before I went out in the living room, they were already out there. I was in the room for like 30, 35 minutes.
Oh, they don't
I don't
play
know
out
what
there.
These girls were drinking, what they gave them, if they were, I don't know what was going on, but they were acting a little funny. So they giggling, oh, it's just a game. It's okay. Like, we single. We just having fun. So I'm a little like, I'm just up here. Like, I don't know.
Oh, they give them that. It's not scopolamine. I think it is to where they're agreeable, so they're giving it up willingly.
Am I wrong? Like, I'm just on a swivel. Like, I'm watching my back. I'm watching their back. Like, I don't know what's going on at this point, but we got to get this shit together. So the husband then proceeds to try to come on to me, right? And I tell him straight up, look, I'm not with none of the games y'all playing. I came here to have fun with me and apparently these girls that I met, but y'all on the same type of time that they on. I'm not with it. I'm trying to be nice to everybody because at this point in my mind, I'm thinking everybody against me. Like, if I'm not with the games, y'all want to try to get a woman. I'm not doing that. Like, no. So the husband and all the guys get irritated, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back in my room. I'm like, y'all wanna go in y'all rooms? Y'all wanna chill? She's like, no. Both of the girls, no, girl. We out here. Like, we having a good time. We finna do it. Whatever you wanna do.
They're trying to get cracked.
Deuces. I'm going to my room, and that's that. I kid y'all not, they ended up locking me from the outside, like inside my room, so I couldn't get out the door. So I'm panicking, right? Like I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going on. Like I'm thinking, like my life's gonna end. I'm not with it. So I don't know. It was like miracle strength. I don't know. I ripped that door open, and nobody was in that house but me. Nobody. So I called a wife, and I'm like, hey, like, it's nobody in here but me, your husband, the girls, and he had all these men with him. They're gone. He's like, oh, they probably went out to get some drinks. They're fine. Trust me. Don't worry about that. So she tries to distract me, and she's like, oh, how about we stay in and we play games? And I'm like, no, I'm calling my driver. So by the grace of God, thank you. I ended up finding them at this club. Mind you, me and my driver been searching for 30, 40, 50 minutes. Literally. He stayed by my side. Bless you. Love you. Go to the club. I see them. They are, when I tell y'all, lipstick smeared, lashes off, hair wild, clothes undone. And they're sober. The men are sober, but these girls were just acting all out. So I'm trying to get them to come with me, to go back to the Airbnb so that we can pack our shit and leave. Like, go somewhere else, whatever, go home. That's our best bet. Y'all, I don't know who these men are in cahoots with, but the owner of the club or the workers, they kicked me out. They kicked me out the club and said I'm not welcome. So I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I'm finna stay outside the club. I'm finna wait for them to leave. Y'all, they never came back out the club. I don't know where they went. I don't know if it was a back door. I don't know if it was a tunnel. I don't know, but they never came out of the club. So I had no choice but to go back to the Airbnb, right? I go back to the Airbnb and I'm like, I'm gonna wait an hour. And if they not showing up, I'm calling them up house. Call them. So I'm pacing around, I'm waiting for them. They end up coming back to the door, just the two girls, nobody else. Mind you, the husband had the key to open up the fence and let them into the house. So fast forward, y'all, they wake up, they don't know what happened, they seem happy and jolly. I'm just like, something happened to y'all. I don't know if I'm the only one that's putting two and two together, but please try to remember because this is not cool. And y'all letting these people get away with something that really was horrible. This was horrible. Like, they did something to y'all. Y'all were so messed up in the head, even physically. Y'all clothes, y'all got bruises, like, something happened to y'all. And I tried to call the police, but they couldn't do nothing with the information that the girls was telling them because apparently, according to the girls, nothing happened. But they can only remember what happened when they were sober, up until that game, up until they started playing that game in the living room. I would never solo travel, and I'm always gonna go with people that I trust. You know, I still feel bad, but I can't help myself. I did everything I could do. The police was called. I tried helping y'all. I tried encouraging y'all to take out this home. And yeah, I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. But this is known. You could have easily searched it. This is known to happen in Colombia. But those girls were with it. They've been through things like this before in the States. And they kind of wanted that to happen. Like, I can't lie, you're right. But when you're traveling and it's not what you expected, that's what's happening, right? They expected it. They kind of wanted it. That's why they were saying, oh, no, we're chilling. They're used to that. I don't think they gave them anything but alcohol and some peen. Sad but true.
Bangkok, Thailand, and I want to leave. I do. I want to leave. I feel like kind of like bamboozled by social media in a way, because there are so many fake influencers making videos of how great it is to live here. And even though I don't live here, I've been here for a few weeks and I just don't like it. It's not as cheap as they say, and I've spoken to other people who are here. They said the same thing. My friend was like, oh, you want to, my friend, this girl that I met, she was like, you want to go to taco night on Tuesday? It's unlimited tacos for $15. Was it 15? Yeah, about $15, $17, something like that. Now, granted, that is affordable, but it's not the $2 everyone's talking about.
Of course it's not. It's unlimited tacos. Unlimited tacos for $2? You crazy?
That's still, you can get a meal in the States for $17. It's not going to be unlimited tacos, but it can be unlimited.
You know, this girl's talking like she lives down south somewhere where things are cheap. She lives in Okinawa. I'm just making up something. Nebraska, right? Where you get things for $1 still there too.
Taco Bell. You know what I mean? You can manage with $17 anywhere, even in the States. And Nobody speaks English, which is normal. This is not an English country. I get it. And the people are not really as nice as people say. Like, I got cursed out by someone who told me to on Facebook Marketplace because I tried to bargain with them for a camera. They literally told me, like, you're an animal, die. Okay. The Uber / Grab drivers.
You expect everybody to be. It's like that everywhere you go. They're gonna have people that are a-holes and people that are nice.
They're if you make a mistake, like I've made a mistake,
Wow.
somehow the address to my delivery was like 3 buildings down, and he wanted me to pay him to come to the right address. I think they look at foreigners like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, why are you here? They don't even want to give you like discounts. Like, if you bargain with them because you're foreign, they know you have money and they don't really want to give you a deal. They're like,
I,
get
I'm
the
gonna
fuck.
pause it right here. See, she doesn't know, and I don't know who you were talking to, but anyone that's ever been to Thailand, everyone knows they charge foreigners more money than they charge people in Thailand and even in the Philippines. Because every time I'm in Thailand with my wife, they give her the Thailand discount and they give me the Thailand discount, right? But foreigners, they charge more. Say if you go to a park, they have a price for foreigners and a price for people in Thailand. That's very known. You can Google that and you'll find that.
Out of here. We already know it's cheap enough. Um, I went shopping here. Bro, I went to Bath. What's the camera? The candle store, whatever that candle store is. Bed Bath and Beyond. Bro, the candles were more expensive here than in America because they said they have to ship it from America. So everything that you love in America, if you want to get it here, you're gonna pay for it.
Oh man,
They don't have
she's
Impossible
lost.
Burgers, by the way, which I should probably think about how to import. um, Everything is pork. They eat bugs. They fry grasshoppers and worms at
Oh wow.
the little markets. All the Instagrammable TikTok videos are just like busy ass tourist attractions. You know what I mean? It's not like everyday life. You have to go to those places. Like today, I'm going to a cafe and they say they have lions there. I'm gonna check it out. And that just doesn't sound like safe for the lion. Like, I don't think there should be lions in a cafe. Lions should be in the wild. So it's like, even the animals that they bring to attract tourists, it's like inhumane. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it doesn't feel like the right thing to spend your money on because these animals are being held in captivity, being sold in these like street markets in cages just to take an Instagram picture, you know? So it's just, I'm going to Bali. That's what I've decided to do.
The brain, they switched it off and left it off and cut the cord off the TV, threw it in the river, and it's gone. Because everything she named, I found out in 2 weeks. Not only probably because my wife was there, but still, you see as soon as you go. Like, say if you go to any tourist spot, they show the price right in front of your face. Thailand, foreigner. Thailand $1, foreigner five. It's like that everywhere. Even in some places for the food. But as for what you name for things that are shipped in, yes, they have to pay more, especially now to get things over to different countries because Donald Trump has tariffs on everything. So it probably went up more. You understand that, right? You do know a lot of countries get things imported in and they import out as well. They export out, but they get a lot of things imported in. So, for instance, me, I like to eat Lay's potato chips. They actually make it in Thailand. A lot of things are actually made in Thailand. But for instance, Bed Bath and Beyond, that has to be imported in. It's gonna be more, right? If I wanted, uh, something that's in the US that they don't make here, it's going to be more money. That's normal overseas. I guess you're not overseas that much. So to you, it's like, oh my God, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's not America.
Welcome to the new world.
I think Thailand is super overhyped. Went to Thailand with high expectations because everyone always falls in love with it, but personally for me, it was just not it. First off, Thailand is so expensive. Obviously, this is me coming from Bali. It is really similar to
Another one coming from Bali.
Canadian prices. The only thing I found that was cheaper there was the alcohol. Accommodation was super expensive, and I booked it like 8 months in advance. To get any last minute accommodation, it's so freaking expensive. You may as well be in Europe. The Grabs, the Bolts, they're really expensive. Also, the Grab drivers literally never come and they always cancel. It takes forever to get a ride. Another thing that really bothered me was that they only accept cash.
Yeah, the Grab drivers cancel a lot. That's why you use Bolt. You should have figured it out by just being in the country. For 2 days, you would say, okay, the Grab people are not coming, the Bolt is coming. You don't complain about it. Let it continue.
Like everywhere, even in Bali, they accept card everywhere, even at the markets, but there they didn't accept it anywhere, so it just made it really difficult. It was just annoying because all the ATMs have like high fees too. Even in Bali, they accept card everywhere, even at the markets. Thailand, the only thing to do there is drink, so if that's not your thing, it's just like, I believe there is a dark side to Thailand. I mean, there's a dark side to everywhere, but I got a really eerie feeling. I accidentally started my trip in Patong. If you know Patong, if you know, you know. Patong gave me a terrible feeling. I didn't realize like what it was. The
Entitled.
Patong left me speechless. So disgusting, the amount of
Everything has to be
prostitution,
pretty,
them abusing elderly,
beautiful.
abusing kids, forcing them to work, and just the amount of scams that go on is just gross. Prostitution is legal there. The first night I went there, I was so traumatized and so disgusted by the amount of old white men with tiny, tiny little Thai girls.
Yeah.
I just know so many of these guys have wives at home. You know what ping pong shows are? It is so disgusting.
No, they don't have wives at home. A lot of those guys left America and are there for good, and they're staying there. It's not always men just traveling over. A lot of guys live there.
Please do not support them. I can't, the amount of people who are like, we just did that. I'm like, why are you putting money into that? Like, to me, that feels wrong. They literally put animals up their like hoo-ha, and I don't know. They have signs for this stuff all over the streets. There's people coming up to you in the streets, even kids coming up to you, working at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning later. I just think it's really sad because you know a lot of these women are like sexually abused or like forced into doing it, and it just
Hold up. Wait a minute. So they're forced into doing it, right? So does this to you look like forced into doing it? Look at this. The man is walking through. The girl grabbed him and wouldn't let him go. That man is about to be forced into doing it. See, when you listen to some people, to the females, it's one thing. To the guys, it's another thing. Let's go.
Currently traveling in one of the most beloved places in the world, and I don't love it here. But let me explain and tell you more about why. We've been traveling in Japan for over a month now, and while I was really excited to come here, I feel like I have found that it's just not really my place. And that's scary to say because I feel like every single person I've talked to and every piece of content I've been seeing have been raving about how much they love Japan. It feels really scary to admit that you don't really like somewhere as much as you thought it would and as much as everyone else seems to love it. Honestly, it's like been kind of hard being here, and that's not entirely just because of the place or anything specific, but it has been challenging and it's made it really hard to like share about our experience here. And everything I have shared so far has been totally genuine and authentic and like my actual thoughts about being here, but it's still just making it hard to like want to create any kind of content about being here. I have done some like really cool stuff and I have had really good moments and we met some really wonderful people, And there's been like a lot of positive things about it, which when I do make the content, it's really nice to look back and be like, oh yeah, this was like really fun, or this brought me a lot of joy, you know? But not the entire trip has been like that either, and I don't want to sugarcoat it. My goal with my content is always to be as genuine and authentic as I can, and I really love showing like the ups and downs of travel, and I want to like de-influence you and show you the real side of everything that we're doing, especially as a nomad. And that includes just like being real about what this trip has been like. And yeah, I just don't feel like I have fit here, I guess. I think so much of the experience was hyped before we got here, and I found that like the places I usually come to love the most are the places I have the lowest expectations for, or just like no expectations at all. And coming to Japan, that was impossible. I had like such high expectations, and it just really hasn't lived up to that in a lot of ways. And there's been so much that I thought would be one way and was a different way. And
That's why when you travel, you give your experience, because a lot of you ladies are entitled. It sounds like entitlement, right? You look like you take psych meds. I'm just being real. I'm not trying to judge you. You seem so unsure. You like, I don't know, just like it's just not good. Like I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. When I came out here, I stayed in one place. It was roach infested, right? I talked about it. That doesn't mean that's everywhere in Malaysia is roach infested. You know, they may have a problem in the sewers. They do. I looked it up. It's in the sewers and the pipes. But I'm not going to say, oh, I'm having a horrible time in Malaysia, right? Because in Thailand, I did notice you can't pay with cards everywhere, but in Malaysia, you can, right? But then there's some things in Thailand that's a lot better than Malaysia. And there's some things in Malaysia that's a lot better than Thailand. And there's some things in Malaysia that's a lot better than Vietnam. Same thing with Vietnam. There's things in Vietnam that's a lot better than here. Everywhere is different. You got to kind of roll with the punches. And a lot of you ladies can't seem to roll with the punches. And it's a problem.
To be in, to live, to exist, you're barely, alive here. For the past week, I'm living with my parents-in-law, and I've been asked why I'm leaving Japan at least twice a day. I've now explained it so many times that I really have it down to like a T, okay? I really now know why. People think Japan is this magical place. Actually, it's the opposite. I feel like one of the biggest problems is the work culture here in Japan, because you're basically married to your job and you are in a toxic marriage with it. Japan doesn't really have normal 9 to 5s, okay? Your 9 to 5 is usually a 9 to, 8 in the evening, 9 in the evening. And then once you're done, a lot of the times people are expected to go out and drink with the colleagues for, bonding reasons or whatever that could be. But during the weekend, you're basically either, recuperating or also kind of working again, because also working on the weekend is a very normal thing here. And no, not only black companies.
I gotta stop her, right? Because yeah, Japan is known for being hard, but when I was working in the U.S., right? You know what I would do every day? I would drink every day, or if I could, and even when I was working, there were people that went out every day. They didn't work from 9 to 9 because they don't allow it. But if they could, and some jobs do, some people are working double shifts in America. We have to stop this. Like, please stop. Get some help. You're talking about things that are normal, that people do in America as well.
Book your internal flights for Brazil ASAP, especially during carnival season. Listen to them, because this place is big. I know everyone says Brazil is big. It's bigger than you can even conceptualize. You think, oh, this is down the road. No, it's a 9-hour drive. Oh, you think it's just a state across. No, that's a plane ride for a good couple hours. I don't know anywhere else where I can leave my house at 5 a.m., get on a boat for 30 minutes, then drive for 2 hours, then go on a boat for another hour.
All right. So she's saying Brazil's big. And once again, guys, I got to share my screen, right? Because you guys need to see this. You need to see what I'm going to show you because it's very important. And I said, is it hell traveling in Brazil during carnival season? It told me why I might feel like hell. But actually, I'm going to go into what she said, right? It said, is Brazil hard to travel? Brazil is moderately difficult to travel because it requires active safety awareness, navigating a massive scale, and overcoming language barriers. While it is not plug and play destination like parts of Europe or Southeast Asia, so it's not plug and play, millions of tourists visit every year and have incredible, smooth experiences by planning ahead. Right? Heightened caution needed. Now, I want to get down to this part. Crime like pickpocketing. So they're telling you about the crime, right? I searched it in AI mode. Look at this. Language and communication. English is not widely spoken in Brazil, with some surveys estimating that only a small percentage of the population is fluent. Distance and infrastructure. Continent scale. Brazil is massive, making it very difficult and inexpensive to see multiple regions without flying. While domestic flights are plentiful, they can be pricey outside of cities. Road infrastructure can be inconsistent, and public municipal buses are often not recommended for tourists at night due to robbery risk. So you can easily look it up and avoid these things before going. One thing you need to do is know before you go. There's tons of guys that have booked consultations with me over the years so they can know before they go. Or you can do one better than that. Use Google, go right to AI mode. There you have it. Let me get into the next video.
Brazil, and I did not love it. I was there for Carnival and I went to Salvador, Rio, and then Sao Paulo. And just starting off, I was very, very dirty. I'm assuming that Carnival had a hand in this. The infrastructure was just not able to handle that many people. When I was in Rio, they did wash the street at the end of the day near where I was staying, but otherwise the constant smell of sewage and God knows what, very much prevalent. Secondly, the racial inequality was devastating. I saw a lot of homeless people. We went on a walking tour in Salvador, and our tour guide told us that there were more people living in these abandoned buildings than the entire population of Australia, and the majority of them are black. So seeing all these people living in poverty while being the backbone of the culture and a lot of labor for the festival, it was really heavy and hard to see. With all these people living in poverty, they got to get it how they can, and maybe at your expense. Many a times I felt unsafe. I definitely thought that I was gonna have to fight for my life at least one time with my Uber driver, which was insane. Just feeling like you're always on edge is kind of taking away from the fun. Also, they're not lying about the guys trying to kiss you, pulling their sunglasses up to try to stare you in the eye, grabbing you. It was too much. All this travel is not always a highlight reel. Sometimes it's an eye-opening experience that makes you uncomfortable, but I did learn a lot.
Yeah, and that's what traveling is. Learning a lot, learning different cultures because you can't bring you where you go. You're going for the experience. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe. I put a lot of thought into these videos. Other than that, thank you for watching. Peace out. See you next video.